Hey guys, Nyisha here, and this is it. This is our second box. It is coming from Hasbro. This contains the next group for our Constructicons for our 1986 series collection. I am excited. Let's go ahead and open it because we have Long Haul and Hook to transform, to compare the two, and then we are down to Mixmaster and Scavenger, and then we actually get to put together Devastator. But yes, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring these guys out. Okay, this is clever. I don't know why they didn't think about doing this in the first place. And because the thing is, it makes sense to, if you're going to be bringing them out in pairs, you might as well have a box that contains both of them instead of individual boxes. Again, that's just my personal preference, but here we have Hook and Long Haul, and of course I which have never pre-ordered through Hasbro or have never pre-ordered Transformers before, have discovered that you can find these guys in stores instead of pre-ordering. But, you know, lesson learned. I may still end up pre-ordering stuff anyway because that's just who I am, because you never know if you'll find them in the stores or not. But, so I already pre-ordered the last group, and it's just a wait, which I'm sure everybody has already finished their collection. And if you have, hey, just leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. But let's go ahead and open this guy. All right, so out of the box, you have, when he becomes Devastator, you have 2 hands, 2 wrists, because they're going to be part of the wrist when you attach these two together, and you have the chest plate of Devastator. But in vehicle mode, because here you have Long Haul, who's a dump truck, who is carrying a trailer, you can use these components right here to pretty much create a battle trailer, if you want to call it that. But so we're gonna go ahead and put that together. Then you, of course, you have weapons that will go on to the sides. So we're gonna go ahead and makeshift that so you can see what that looks like. But this is everything that comes from out of the box, along with the instructions. And you can tell because here, see, now it looks like rockets, but in actuality, they are going to be used for hands for Devastator. So here we have Long Haul with his trailer. Technically, in the 1980s, he never had a trailer. You never saw it in his TV series, and you never saw it in the movie. So the downside is you have him carrying something that, well, technically, as a toy line would be fantastic because he's bringing armaments, he's bringing, weapons to the field. However, if this was in the cartoon, this would probably be, something to hold them back. But back in the 1980s, he had on his bed the equipment above him. So that didn't make it look any better either. So I can see why they had to come up with this decision. I don't have any third-party Devastators to compare that with to see what they did, but I don't think they had this. They probably just had these parts. You just transform them, add these parts there, and you have Devastator. So I won't say anything negative about the trailer. It's just cool to have. It's nice that they found a home for these parts. So it's just that Long Haul literally has to carry such a long haul. Yeah, sorry. All right, here we have Hook. Just a simple crane operating machine. Of course, rolls just fine. To me, I love the size. Of course, this, you attach it because this came, it wasn't a part of him when you open up the box. Of course, it was separate. All you have to do is just snap it together. And of course, he has a weapon that comes with him, and you just connect it, over here. And there's his weapon when he is in vehicle mode. But, of course, there's what he looks like. But we will go ahead and transform him. So we'll start off with Hook, and then we will go ahead and work on Long Haul, because Long Haul does look like he is pretty much a lot. Well, not just so much himself, but, size comparison, you can tell that these guys had to be a little thicker and a little bigger than the others because they are going to be, the upper body of Devastator. All right, so let's bring the rest in. Let's bring in Scrapper and Bone Crusher, and just looking at what will soon to be a pack of 6. And I mean, I'm excited because, again, I can't wait to transform these guys into Devastator. But no, as a first-time collector of a combiner, I love their sizes because, of course, you have what I believe is the left arm of Devastator, the right foot of Devastator, and the body, the upper and the pelvis and the upper body. So but no, this is everything that I hoped for when I pre-ordered these guys, because I've always wanted the Constructicons because I loved when they transformed into Devastator. I loved when the tragic story of when they were good and then got turned bad because of Megatron, and it was permanent, and that turned Omega Supreme into who he is now. And just to have their backstory and stuff was beautiful in my eyes. It was beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and transform them into robot mode just to see what these guys look like. Okay, so taking a look at my boy right here, looking fabulous. Like I said, unlike some of the toys that I've seen online, they don't have, a lot of fill-ins. Sometimes Hasbro has that same thing too, where there's holes in between some of their characters, but overall, they've really filled in some of the negative spaces that the, Constructicons or some of the figurines had. I like the fact that, not only does his arms, the upper arms right here, his shoulders, they move. And as I was transforming him, and again, this is my first time, that's when I realized that, okay, because he's the shoulder, this is pretty much where, the head of Devastator resides in. So, pretty much Hook is, he's carrying the shoulders of Devastator here. So, legs, he bends, which again, I'm very happy for. Is he posable? We'll have to see. Because for the most part, I believe he can be, depending on what it is that I want to pose him for. Definitely, I think he would be great for animation. In my perspective, I would have to once again do a little test run to see for myself. But for the most part, for the things that I want him to do, I will be testing out and seeing for myself personally with pictures, not so much animation. But for the most part, as for poses, we have the Van Damme split, so definitely he's got that. He's got that to a T. The back per se, you just have to, keep it down for the most part, but detail otherwise. Just look at this face. It is gorgeous. And I mean, again, on a ball joint, but he looks, it's like looking at the cartoon. And the colors in itself, I don't know what colors you're seeing here, because it might be like a more lime green than what I'm seeing in hand, so be forewarned. But for the most part, this Hook was definitely easier to transform versus the others. Well, actually, I'll take that back. They all are easy to transform versus the 86 Optimus. And like even Grimlock was the Dinobots. They were easy to transform. They weren't as delicate and intricate as Optimus Prime 86 is, but for the most part, yeah, Hook is looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and work on long haul. All right, I will say by far, long haul is like mad easy based off of the instructions. I mean, there wasn't really much to transform because again, he's pretty much the bulk, of the characters. So for him to be articulate, for him to, do certain things other than, become the pelvis of, Devastator, I wouldn't expect much from him. I don't know if other third parties, he's a lot more flexible in that sense. But for him to just be a basic, easy to transform from vehicle to robot mode, it's not bad. And again, the details on this dude's face is just, hold on, let's shed a little more light so we can focus. So yes, but no, the details on my dude's face is just mad gorgeous, and I love it. I love it a lot. And so yeah, like I said, he was the most easiest to transform out of everybody. So let's just go ahead and bring them all in. I mean, I love the fact that looking at all of these guys, just, to me, it's just I'm one step closer from getting my Devastator. And it is tempting. I want to transform him, but I want him to be complete. So, no. To see these guys, it's like having a reunion. They're all coming in full circle. They're all looking lovely as hell. And again, I always grew up collecting Autobots, but collecting Decepticons are just as fun as well. But yeah, I can't wait. I seriously can't wait for Mixmaster and Scavenger and then to complete Devastator. But again, overall, it's been a while since I've transformed anything as simplistic as these guys right here. And I'm not asking a lot for these guys when it comes to articulation, when it comes to hands, because again, I believe Hasbro and Takara and all that stuff were focusing on just being able to transform him into Devastator to make sure that they look as close to not only just the toys, but also the cartoon and movie form. So with that, again, I am well pleased with what these guys did. And I look forward to, I look forward to just transforming this guy. So let's do some poses. All right, guys, 4 down and 2 to go. This has been phenomenal. Again, I love everything about this. And I just look forward to completing the set and getting my Devastator. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Check out my other Transformer related videos right here. Until next time, guys, this is Nyisha, and I'll see you later.